Okay, good morning, all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So started today's session. So we have discussed last classes in our module 2. There are different types of classification oriented control systems. Okay. And we have to discuss that is ratio control system. Today, first we have to start that is the automatic control system. Okay. And little bit certain idea we have to given in previous classes also. So automatic controller. Okay. So many industrial plant or process here are required for the different types of physical parameters. That means in that industry we have to control the flow measurement, temperature measurement, pressure measurement, etc. So there are lots of physical parameter we have to measure in this automatic process. So in that case, we have to control the basically first set point, which is automatically user or controller set the point that is a desired value we have to examine in our output purpose. So this device, it serves to maintain the process variable value at the set point. It is called the automatic controller. That means the device that serves to maintain a process variable value at the set point it is called automatic controller. Okay, so that means this controller, that means automatic controller, it is basically we have to use in our process industries. It serves to maintain a process variable. This process variable, that means level, pressure, temperature, accelerations, etc. So this process variable value at the set point, that means SP. We know that set point in our control system block diagram. We have to again and again display this is the set point value. So this set point, it is automatically set according to the uses of the process, different process variable. So it is called the automatic controller part. Okay. So it has different conditions. We know that the basic functions of this automatic controller, it is maintained. First, it receives the actual measured value of the variable, different types of variable which is controlled, which is controlled. Okay, first we have to maintain. Next, compare the value of a reference That means standard result, reference, or desired value. That means we have to select the particular reference point in the set point. So this set point, it is basically mean one important point or the functions. So this is automatic controller part. We have to compare the value of the reference input to the set point also. Okay. Number third basic functions, it determine the magnitude. Determine the magnitude and direction. And direction of any error or deviations. Okay. So number third basic function is it determine the magnitude and directions. That means which direction this flow parameter or something physical parameter we have to workable. So this is automatic controller part or system. It determine the magnitude and direction of any error or deviations. Okay. And also number 4, it provide an output control signal as some function of the deviation. Okay, so these are the basically 4 functions we have to maintain by the automatic controller part. Okay, so I just recall them. So this is basically automatic controller. In our process control industries or plant, this device, it serves the maintain a process variable, different types of process variable, that means level, pressure, temperature, etc. This process variable value at the set point, which is called the automatic controller part. Okay, so it has basic functions in the automatic controller part. First, it receives the actual measured value, which is measured. Okay, it receives the actual measured value of the variable which is controlled by the automatic process. Okay. Number 2, it compare the value of reference or desired value, which is set the in our set point in the control system by the user or automatic control system. Okay. Number 3, it determine the magnitude and directions of any error or deviation. So this automatic controller part, it is automatically determine the any magnitude or direction of any error or deviation is occurring or not. Number 4, this controller, it provide an output control signal as some function of the deviations. Okay, it is clear all of you automatic controller part. What is automatic controller and what is the basic function of the automatic controller? Is it clear all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we go the next point, that is a classifications of the different automatic controller part. In our industry or process or plant, this automatic controller part, we have to classify our different category wise. That means it depending upon the different medium, different process we have to control. So first of all, we have to classify classification of automatic controller. Okay. So this automatic controller part, we have to classify it our according their different control actions. We know that because we have to read in our fifth sem and sixth sem, that is a control system and advanced control system. All of you know this type of control action. That is two position. First, that is two position, or sometime it is called on off controller. Okay. First, next number two, we know that everyone, that is proportional controller. Proportional, that is P. We have to determine that is P, that is proportional controller. Number three, we know that this is integral. This is represent, that is capital I, integral, or sometimes it is also called reset. Okay, this is reset controller. Number four, this is derivative. That is also represent D, or sometimes it is also called rate, derivative controller or rate controller. Okay. Number five, we know that proportional plus integral. That means we have to represent PI controller. Okay. Number six, proportional plus derivative. Derivative, that means it is represent PD controller. Okay. Number seven, we know everyone. So this is PID. Okay, that means proportional plus integral plus derivative. That means PID controller. Okay, so these are the basically control actions, that is controller part we have two uses in our automatic controller part. First, that is two position or on off controller. Okay, so in this on off controller we know that that is 0 1 concept. That means when it is 1, that means it is on position, and when it is 0, that means it is off condition. That means two position or on off controller part. Number two, proportional controller, that is P controller. Okay. Number three, that is integral, that is I, or sometimes it is called the reset controller also. Okay. Number four, this is derivative, that means D, or sometimes it is called rate controller, rate of change of controller, that is B. Number five, proportional plus integral, that means PI controller part. Okay. Number six, this is PD, that means we know that proportional plus derivative controller part. Okay. And last number seven, this is proportional plus integral plus derivative controller part. That means PID controller part. So in other different types of controller parts, we have to classify it depending upon the actuating medium. So another, that means depending upon the actuating medium, This automatic, sorry, controllers may also classify it as another types of, that is pneumatic controller part. We know that in our module 1 we have to discuss this is pneumatic controller part. This is another important controller part, pneumatic controller. Number 2, hydraulic controller. Hydraulic controller. And number 3rd, electronic controller. Okay, so these are the different types of controller part. We have to classify it according, depending upon the actuating medium, that means which medium we have to working, and also automatic controller part we have to classify it across, that is pneumatic controller part. That means we have to know here are air pressures or air valve, we have to examples in this pneumatic controller part. This is another one, hydraulic controller part, which is hydraulic principles we have to apply it here also. Another one, that is electronic controller part. That means different types of electronic circuits which is made by these electronics goods or items. So this is the another one, electronic controller part. Okay, so these are the basically classification of the automatic controller part. So is this clear, all of you? It is clear, all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so anyone, any questions or any doubt? Because this is another questions, right? The classification of different automatic controller part. So at that time you have to describe this one. Okay, first to last. Next, another part, this is very important, block diagram of automatic controller part. Okay, just a minute. Block diagram of automatic controller. This is very important. So first I am drawing the pictures, then again one by one topics we have to describe. Okay, so this is in first input which is coming from the one set point. 1 minute. Then first blocks, another blocks, then another others blocks, so first this is reference or set point. Set point, this is basically first set point we have to attach here, plus minus. This is error. We know that one error controller we have to measure, that is error, it is represented by E. This is amplifier first. then controller, then this is final control element, final control element, then process or plant, process or plant. Here we have to one sensor, it is present, so this is called the sensor, this one, then the output from here. Okay, and another blocks it is present, that is the here also measuring element, which is connect across the output of the system. This is measuring element. Another one, this is feedback. We know that in our closed loop control system, we have to use this one feedback. This is feedback amplifier, which is connected to the measuring element to the reference input or set point. Okay, and sometimes this set point, it is also called the comparator. Comparator or error detector. Okay, so this is basically one block diagram of the industrial automatic controller part. Okay, first you have to see this is basically input, that means reference or set point value. It is inputted in the first comparator or error detector in that case. Okay, so in that case, which is comparator, it is automatically set the point of by user or automatic controller part, by which any error is coming. This error value we have to measure by the error detector, which is expressed here, that is E. Okay, sometimes it is also we have to denote, that is ES, that means error of the system. Okay, then this is the amplifier part, which is detect the primary element which is error is coming in these systems. Then this amplifier blocks or plant, that is a connected across the another block, that is controller part, which is controlled or by automatic process in the automatic process control plant. And then this signal, it is sent to the controller part, sorry, that is a final control element, that is FCE, final control element. Then this final control element, which is process the signals and output given to the process or plant. Okay, this process or plant, which is process the desired input which is coming from the final control element. And here one sensor we have to attachable here. There are the different types of process measurement variable, that means temperature measurement sensor, okay, flow measurement sensor, sometimes it is also speed measurement sensor or volume measurement sensor we have to attach in these sensor blocks. Okay, this is the sensor blocks. And then the process, the output we have to complete receive from here. This is basically output. Okay, so these output sections, which is basically output, it is basically connected to the one blocks another, that is a measuring element, that means which type of measured variable we have to measure here, that is the sometimes the different displacement, pressure, any electrical signals, flow, something like that. Then this is basically one feedback loops we have to attach in the control system, that is a closed loop control system. So this is the feedback amplifier we have to attach. This feedback amplifier which is connected across the another set point. So this is basically the closed loop control system, and this is the block diagram of automatic controller part. It is clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any questions in this part? Because this is very important questions in your semester exam paper. A question is coming in that pattern, that is, draw the block diagram of automatic controller part and describe it shortly. Okay, that means you have to draw these pictures and also discuss the each and every point. Okay, so now we have to conclude, that is a one by one process. First we have to process. What is process? Okay, next slide you have to go. I am given one by one. First, that is process. So it is a basically physical, it is a physical or chemical change of matter or conversion of energy in the widest sense. Okay, so first, process. What is the process of plant? That means it is a physical or chemical change of matter. Matter means which type of raw material we have to uses in the processor plant. Okay, so that means it is a physical or chemical change of matter or conversion of energy in the widest sense. That means you have to changes in the processes one energy to the another energy. That means energy changeable one state to another state. So this system, it is basically process. Next, number two, controlled condition. Controlled condition. What is? It is the condition of the process. Oh, just wait. It is the condition of the process which is direct purpose of the system to control. Okay, this is basically control condition. Okay, so it is the condition of the process which is direct purpose of the system to control. This is called the control conditions. Okay, number third, measuring element. Measuring element. So this element, that is the element which respond to the signal from the detecting element and gives the measured value of the controlled condition. Is known as measuring element. Okay. So what is measuring element? So this element which respond to the signal from the detecting element and gives the measured value of the conditions, that is control condition, is known as measuring element. So you have to given this picture. So first, that means reference or set point input. Here in different types of inputs we have to set in the set point also. So first this element which is respond to the signal, any types of input you have to given that is signals, that is respond to the signal from the detecting element and gives the measured value of the control conditions. It is basically called the measuring elements. Okay, is it clear up to this part? Is it clear up to this part?
Yes, sir.
Next, comparing element. Comparing element. It is the part of a controller which generates a signal proportional to the deviations. Proportional to the deviations. That means it is compared the different types of process variable. That means comparing element, it is the part of the automatic controller or any types of controller you have to use, which is generates the signal proportional to the deviation. That means the changes of the different parameters. Okay. This is basically comparing element. Next part, that is desired value. Sorry. Desired value. The specified value of a controlled condition or an agreed variables, just wait, agreed variable or value is known as desired value. That means when you have to use the automatic controller part, in this part the specified value of the control conditions or an agreed value, it is known as the desired value. Okay, that means user set the point, that is the reference point. The output, it is basically come from the output section of the processor plant. So this value, it is either it is same or plus minus something, it is positive or negative. So this is basically specified value of the control condition or an agreed value, it is known as the desired value. Okay, up to this part it is clear, all of you? This is different parts of the automatic controller part.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, set point. Okay, everyone, please write your own name and roll number in the chat box. And one attendance, Avijit, you take a one screenshot to the one page for the participant. Okay. Abhijit, are you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Set points. So set point, all of you known, this value, the value of the control condition to which the automatic controller mechanism is set. It is known as set point. That means this set point, it is changeable. That means user or automatic controller part which is set the automatic particular point. So this value of the control condition to which the automatic controller mechanism it is set. Okay, so user, it is set the point which is selected by the particular goal of the point. This is called the set point also. Okay, so these are the different parameters which is coming for the deviations. Okay, up to this part it is clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next, that is a controlling element. Controlling element. It is the element it is the element that provides the control signal which is depend upon the deviation. Okay, so this is basically control element. It is the element that provides the control signal and it is depend upon the any types of deviations is coming in the automatic part.